Yeah. Yo. Okay.
Hey,
Hello. Hello. We are back. We are here.
hey
Um.
guys, welcome. Thank you for joining our stream. We're back. I've been busy with COVID for about 2 weeks. It was my first time, so
Sorry.
I'm so sorry I couldn't join you, Nate's last week. No, the week before on the A Artist React, right?
Yeah. No worries.
Yeah,
It
but
was
this
good.
time,
I had a
yeah,
good time by
next
myself.
week. We're doing it next week, right?
Yeah. I would
All
definitely
right.
love to. The database is getting
Yeah.
full. Like it's also like we're gonna wait for a bit until like people join. But like with
Of
the
course.
release of all the latest, like holy shit, man! Like it's been crazy. Like the runway, the Luma, the live portrait, the
Yeah.
other like animate thingy. People are getting
Yeah.
people are getting crazy.
It's getting insane, man. It's getting insane. All the developments and all the stuff and what people are creating with Gen 3. That's also something.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
it's a very interesting period of time we live in.
yeah, it is indeed. It's kind of crazy. Um,
Yeah.
oh, it's on a different link. Oh my,
Ah,
um, I think there was a bit of a mix-up with the stream, so I need to share it on the other post where people were waiting.
oh no.
Restream sometimes, I guess, does this, but yeah, I hope people will be able to join still.
So people have uh, the wrong link.
Yeah, I think so. Mm, but either way, there are some people here already, and I think we can just start. And there will be a recording either way. But like for
Hey,
people who are here, thank you for joining, and like do leave the comments and questions. Like we're very happy to talk together through how Comfy works. That is gonna be the topic of today, like basics of Comfy, how you can run it, what do the nodes do, what you can do with it, all of the things. So if you have any questions along the way, if something isn't clear, if something you want to explore, please do share. We are very happy to have you collaborate and participate with us.
all right, so let's start.
Let's
So
go.
I hope that most of you is um, already know what Stable Diffusion is, how to use it. Maybe you have used Automatic 1111 or Focus or Invoke or other stuff. Hey, Jordy. So, but ComfyUI is one of the best interfaces for creating stuff with Stable Diffusion. It allows you um, to set the workflow from scratch, whatever you want to have it. I mean, you really have to have a clear idea in mind of what you want to build. And you can make it as simple as possible. We won't go very deep today into it. We'll just cover the basics, how to install, what are the models, where to get them, what are the nodes, the essential custom nodes, and so on. Hey,
Yeah,
Jacob.
and I think yeah. Hey Jacob. Hey Jordy. Thanks for joining. And I think you really need to develop the mindset for this, just because like
Yeah, that's
you
true.
start with a blank page and
Yeah.
literally like you can do whatever you want, which also means you have no idea what to do at the very beginning. So yeah, all right, let's get
Sure.
started. You want to share the screen then?
All right, awesome.
Hey Stefan.
So I'm just going to start with. Can you see my screen, everybody?
Yeah, I think it's
All right.
on the share now.
So I hope, most of all, you already know the the link to live Luca has put in his post is not working. Maybe it'd be nice to update it for the others. Thank you, Marcin. We've noticed that, and I think Nate's published the right link, right, Nate?
On the event, yeah. So basically on the on the link that isn't working.
Yeah. So sorry for this. All
Hmm.
right. I see my screen. Excellent. So most of you who already work with Stable Diffusion, you're quite familiar with this look.
Hey,
This is
Chris.
automatic 1111. It has a positive prompt. It has negative prompt. You can select different models here, VAEs, and all the good stuff. But today we're going to work with something like this. This
Nice.
is the user interface of Comfy. We'll get there. Don't worry, we'll get there.
I love to
But
see it.
let's first explain how to install it. First of all, you need a Python. Python, I think it's 3.10. You just go to Downloads and you select 3.10. No, it's over here. Yeah, 3.10.14. You just download it, install it, and you're good to go. Oh, when you install it, I will just make that quickly. Just give me a second. Um, am I missing something? All releases 3.10.
I think you have this. Like the Python is basically necessary for any sort of running any sort of interface, even like automatic 1111. So I think if you've used any like local installation, you have Python on at this point.
Hmm.
What are you looking for?
3.10. I'll just put on
Share the
download
link.
Python 3.10. All right, this is it. Yeah, we'll list the link later.
Yeah,
So if you're on
yeah.
Windows, you just download the 64-bit version of it.
And
Um,
Marcin asks if you need this particular Python and not the latest. Yeah, you need this particular one.
exactly. I'm just going to quickly because there's a very important step that you cannot miss. All right. So you click on python.exe, or do you?
Hey, Sandu, nice to see you here.
No. I haven't done this in a while, so oh, embeddable package. No, Windows installer 64 bits. I'm sorry, guys. Haven't done this in a while. But the important thing is that a lot of people are getting stuck with this step. When you install Python, always click this, add Python 3.10 to path. If you don't, you will have issues
Where are you
and
sharing?
you will have to add Python to path by yourself manually. So if you click this, add Python
Hey, Luka,
3.10 to path,
just a moment.
yeah.
You're only sharing your browser. Are
Oh,
you?
okay. So I will share my whole screen. Give me a
Or if
second.
you have two screens, then it's probably on the other one.
Yeah. Path. Hey, Sandu. All right. Do you guys see my screen? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, when you let's do this again. Yes, I want to cancel. I downloaded the Python, and when you install it, always click add Python 3.10 to path. If you don't, you will have some issues. And then install now and just click next for everything, for the whole steps.
Hmm.
Then what
Nice.
What you want to have installed next is pip 24.1.2, the newest version. The latest version is nice. How do you install it? You just click on this copy to clipboard, you press your Windows button and type in cmd and press enter. And
Or
you just paste it, press enter, and that's it. I already have my pip installed, so I'm getting a message. It's requirement already satisfied. So
that
you need Python and you need pip. If you
excellent.
don't want to go through all this, you can run Pinocchio, pinocchio.computer. I recommend this because of quite a lot of things. First of all, it's one-click installer. You just download the Pinocchio. You can install it for Windows, Mac, or Linux. So you just download this for Windows. You can download it. I already did it, and just click Pinocchio setup. I already have it installed, but it's going to install it anyway. Uh, so when you are ready, just double click Pinocchio, and you will get, yeah, and you will get the welcome page. All right, give me a second. It doesn't like me.
I feel the same excitement as
Yeah.
whenever I install like anything or try new technology. I'm like, oh, we're getting there. It's
Yeah.
happening. It's happening.
So
But yeah,
you get a welcome page, visit Discover page, and you have so many options here in Pinocchio, and you can install so many nice stuff. You, of course, you click ComfyUI, download it. It will download it for you. Just press install, and you will get all the requirements for Conf. You will get conda, git, zip, Python, CUDA, everything. So this is kind of a simplified version of installing Comfy. And as I said, not just Comfy, you get Halo, so talking avatars, you can get stable audio. I mean, all the open source goodies, Invoke, OpenUI, Open Voice, like everything. But as
anything.
I said, we will just concentrate this ComfyUI today.
Nice question. Why would you even do it locally then through the terminal if you have Pinocchio?
Because you work in Pinocchio.
Mm,
So when you install things on Pinocchio, you work on Pinocchio. You don't work on your browser, in
yeah,
your browser. So
I
if you
think
want to have uh, full control of everything, of your Python, of your environments, of everything, you just download everything manually. If you're not sure how to do that, just use Pinocchio. Don't go into hardcore developer stuff.
yeah, I think for me, the way I see it is whenever you add like additional like steps in between, there are more like ways for it to lose control or just like to be limiting in a way. So like whenever you put yourself into an environment, if it's Pinocchio, you will usually like be limited to what is inside that environment. So if you want a truly like personalized environment, you kind of have to build it by yourself. But I do
Correct.
think like Pinocchio is great, especially if you want to try out all of the open source models available. You just click on it. It's so freaking good. You don't have to go through the trouble of downloading all the dependencies and all of that. You can just run it and go
Yeah, I'm on the masochistic side, so I like to complicate my life.
sometimes.
So if you still want to install it locally, you just go to GitHub and Comfy UI. Just Google Comfy UI, and you will get on this website. You get installing Comfy UI, and you can download it, and just follow the installation rules. It's nice
Yeah.
to have Torch Vision and Torch Audio installed. Um, so yeah, and when you're ready,
And you do it through the command window or the terminal. So like the
exactly, yeah.
instructions you will see, it's
So
mostly just copy pasting.
so when you have everything installed, you will have something like this. Wherever you install it, I have on F drive. So ComfyUI, and then you get the you have run. If you want to run it with your graphic card, I highly recommend working with NVIDIA graphic cards. But you can also try run it with your CPU. I never tried it, never used it, um, but it does work supposedly. I've never tried it yet. Nate, have you tried it yet ever?
No, not really. I think GPU is the place to be with AI.
All right. So you run it by double clicking run NVIDIA GPU bat, or something like I have, just right click, drag it to your desktop, and create shortcuts here. So every time I run my Comfy, I have my shortcut here, and I just double click it, and I get this. All right. So let's go. Welcome to Comfy.
Here we go. Okay, let's stop for a minute.
Okay.
Sandu asked, can we have a sample to install, say, Live Portrait application? I had issues
Yes.
running even after manager added the missing nodes.
Yes.
Um, we can look into that as well. Like we can do an event around like Live Portrait. It's been popping recently. It's been quite amazing what people have been doing. Um, yeah, hello Govind, nice to meet you. Nice to see you here. But yeah, so usually like getting here is where most people just give up when they're like, okay, I have to install these things and blah blah blah, and then you finally get to the interface. So I would recommend like to avoid the technicalities, use Pinocchio. Like it's simple. It's a one click installer, so you don't have to deal with all the terminals, all the installations, and you can focus more on the interface. Let's go. Let's see. Hello, Comfy.
All right. So you navigate your user interface by um, using your middle mouse button, and if you click somewhere on your what's this behind canvas,
Mm.
you can move everything, right? So if you want to zoom in, you just zoom in or zoom out with your mouse wheel, and you can of course click the node and you can move it around. All right.
Maybe just to go even a step back. So this is like the initial interface that Comfy opens up. So it has like this workflow loaded, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like in essence, this is just it is a canvas. It is an empty canvas and the nodes are basically elements inside it. So we
Yeah.
work with nodes. So that's why this is so incredible because you can build whatever you want because it's an empty canvas, but you have to know what the nodes do to build something.
Correct. So let's start with the first node, load checkpoint. This is pretty much self-explanatory. Here, you load your models. So for those who don't work with Stable Diffusion, you can actually pick which model will you choose. You can find all the models on Civet AI website, which can be a bit overwhelming for the first time when you open it. But go to models, and you can pick the model. Of course, I have highest rated, the first, and Laura's. Let me clear my filters. And here we have everything from models to LoRa's to everything. So let's just filter by checkpoint. And you can download your checkpoints locally on your computer. You just go to Realistic Vision, for example, and you can download it. You will be always putting your models in Comfy models and checkpoints. Checkpoints. Yeah. So you will collect your checkpoints here. ComfyUI models checkpoints and just download it. And when it's downloaded, you can select it by clicking over here. I have quite a lot of checkpoints, obviously. So let's work with 1.5 checkpoint. I will choose one of my favorite epic realism,
Mm,
natural scene. It's great for photorealism. And let's just click Q prompt. This is how you render your image. So Q prompt.
I think at this point maybe it would be nice to point out that system requirements for Comfy are pretty important.
Yeah, the thing is that ComfyUI is very, very optimized lower for lower graphic cards. So you can basically make it work with 4 gigs. Am I right? Of
Possibly.
VRAM on your GPU. Recommendable is 8 gigs. You can, I mean, with 8 gigs, you're good to go. You can work with it very well. You can do most of stuff, not the latest tech, but for images and for simple videos, 8 gigs is quite enough.
I think
I
largely also depends on the models you will load. Because like the checkpoints, like SDXL or 1.5, they are different sizes. When you add like IP adapter models to it, again, it's more, and control net models, it again becomes more. So I think like you do reach a cap at some point. Um, so yeah, I think there is also the option of running it on a cloud. So if you don't have a good machine, like using a cloud option might be the way to go. Mm, yeah. For example, RunPod. Is this RunPod?
Yeah, this is ROMpod.
RunPod is one of them where you can like rent machines and you can just run it on their machines instead of using your own. I think there are also like Run Comfy and Comfy Cloud. Like there are quite plenty of them already. Yeah,
And you have everything already here. So when you select your GPU cloud, when you select your graphic card, you will have everything already there. I won't go into it, but I bet there are many, many, many tutorials on YouTube for running Comfy on cloud, but we will not get into it today, maybe next time.
yeah, yeah. But in
So
essence, like you have alternatives if your machine
exactly.
would not be.
If your computer is not powerful enough, you can run ComfyUI on cloud.
Mm.
All right.
All right.
So those little things, as we already said, those are nodes, and you can build your workflows with nodes. So how can you load the node? There are many ways. First one is right click, add node, and you select your nodes. Yeah, I have a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the way. I don't think I've ever done it this way of like going
Yeah,
through the list.
that's one way. The next way, the second way is just double click and
Left
you
click.
search for a node. So if you know what you're looking for, this is very, very easy. You
Mm.
just write in load and you can load checkpoint, VAE, image, LoRa, clip, and so on. There's another way which I'm getting into it. It's very, very easy and saves you quite a lot of time. If you have multiple selections, it's called JNote, KJ notes. I'm not sure. Anyway, you can go here and search for, I don't know, control net, and you have all the options with the preview,
Oh,
how the
nice.
node looks like. So if you're not sure which nodes would you like to use, you can just go into this little tool, and it will show all the nodes that you need. And you just, just click it and drag and drop it in your workflow.
Yeah, I think to start for me, the easiest so far has been double clicking and searching for it.
Yeah,
Um, because I think like building workflows, you first like you need to understand like what these nodes do. So like understanding the main ones would be probably very beneficial, like the checkpoints, the LoRa's, the control nets, the IP adapters. The sampler being like the main engine of all of it, and VAE. So I definitely think familiarizing yourself with these like core like technologies becomes beneficial in many ways, and then you can just search for them through the nodes. We have two questions at this point.
yeah.
Stefan asked, or more like a statement. He doesn't have the sidebar that you just showed. Is that another plugin?
Yeah, that's a custom node. And just give me a second.
Cool.
So
And in the meantime, Laurenus asked, is RunPod the best for running ComfyUI on the cloud, or are there more good options? I think there are quite plenty of options. I think Run Comfy. We can leave links afterwards in the chat, so you can follow them up. I think Run Comfy is nice, or RunPod is in general good because you can just run the GPU. But yeah, we'll paste some links for you after the event.
yeah, definitely. Um, so yeah, I think it's J nodes.
Mm.
J nodes ComfyUI.
You are most welcome, Lornas. We are very happy to help you.
No, it's not J nodes.
Is JNodes like the recent one? I think I saw it.
KJ nodes. Is it KJ nodes? No.
We can leave the link to this as well, to like the sidebar.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
One of the sources, I mean, most of you are already subscribed to my LinkedIn site where I publish my findings and all the tools. So you can find a lot of useful stuff here. And
Mm.
you will also find the side notes over here. I published it about 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I'll probably just scroll down. ComfyUI sidebar, there we go. All right, here it is.
You do have a very good curation of news.
Yeah, thanks. So, and sidebar is your friend. You can enable it via Comfy Manager. Comfy
On
Manager is
that, there's
something
a
you
Coffee Manager.
cannot live without. So Comfy Manager, what it does, it's your tool for installing all the custom nodes. If you get a workflow and you get a lot of red nodes, then you don't have those specific custom nodes. And um, at the beginning, we had to find all those custom nodes and install them by hand. But now we already have Comfy Manager, and it's something you really cannot live without if you're working with Comfy UI.
I
Um,
agree 100%. I think Sando already mentioned it earlier, like the manager. Um, but like you, especially like at the beginning when you don't have all of these nodes, everything is red. When you upload
Exactly.
the workflow that is like new, let's say you're trying to do an animated workflow and you download it from OpenArt, for example, nice. This is also a great resource. And you import it and everything is red. And you can literally just go to the manager and click install missing nodes. It's an
Yeah.
incredible like quality of life.
Let's let's download a sample workflow so you can see how you can
Mm.
um, quickly
And for
set up the workflow
yeah, and for workflow downloading,
here.
uh, oh
So
Stefan, install the Comfy for the first time. Yes, wow, love to hear it. No manager yet. Yeah, I think
yeah,
the manager is
so
also
yeah,
like
we're getting there. So the thing is, when you are downloading your workflow, you just drag and drop it. So let me open another instance of my where is it, of Comfy, and you just drag and drop it in your workflow. That's it. Boom.
wow,
Everything is
yes, magic.
yeah. And
What do
most
you
probably you will have a lot of red notes. Right now I have all of them, not
Mm,
all of them, but a lot. So the
yeah,
chance of me getting red notes is really, really, really low. I'm trying to find the example of red notes.
you can also load the workflow by
No.
clicking load on the right side in the toolbar. That
Anyhow, if you have red notes, you just install manager, and we will put the ComfyUI manager link a bit later. But it's very easy to install. So how to install custom nodes by hand? First of all, you go to oh, sorry, you have to go to your ComfyUI custom nodes folder, and then you press on your address bar and write CMD and enter. And the command uh, command prompt will open, and you just put this in the copy. You just copy it and you paste it, press enter, and to me, the ComfyUI manager already exists and it's not an empty directory. So
mm,
you will get install everything. And when it's installed, ComfyUI, you will have to restart ComfyUI. So just, close it and reopen it. And
yeah.
everything, and the manager will be installed on in your Comfy folder. And then when you have red notes, you just press install missing custom notes. That's it. It's that easy.
And there will
You
be a
don't
list of the nodes, and you just install.
Yeah, and you can also do a lot of stuff. You can update Comfy, you can update your custom nodes. You install custom nodes via Git URL if there are no nodes um, in your manager. You can also download, wow, okay. You can also download so many things, easy grids, interpolate everything,
You
everything.
also, aside from the nodes, you can install models as well directly
Yes.
here, which is also incredible for like control
Yeah.
net models or IP adapter models. It's just fantastic because you literally you can do everything in here. You don't have to go outside, copy links and paste and that install into the folders or move into the specific folders. It does it for you. It's a big quality of life. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you don't work in Comfy without manager.
Or at least you don't want to. I mean, you
Yeah,
can,
yeah,
just don't do it.
true, true. All right, so how to connect nodes?
Yeah. Any
Do you
questions
have
around at this
anything?
point? If anyone has
Sorry?
questions, yeah,
Yeah, questions so far.
seems to be.
If there are no questions, we will just start connecting our nodes.
Let's go.
All right. So I will just, clear. We have a button here, clear. Are you sure? All right, we're sure. So this is our empty canvas, and we will recreate the default workflow. So double click, load your
One question.
checkpoint.
We have one question. Stefan is
Yeah.
asking, is there a repo of those nodes with descriptions of them?
What's the question?
Is there a repo of those nodes with descriptions of them? So
Oh, you mean do we have descriptions of all nodes?
yeah, I guess that would be the question, right?
That would be a bit too much, and no, but we have GPT.
That is true. We do have GPT.
Yeah, explore GPTs and ComfyUI. There it is. A couple of ComfyUI um,
Node
GPTs. You
feature.
have prompters, you have teacher, you have um, a lot of stuff. So you can also learn with GPT. Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't. Yeah, but that is a good question because like there are like 200 plus nodes at this point, right? And like the
yeah.
beauty of Comfy, I think, is that you can create your own node. Like you can literally create your own node if you want to. It's such a playground. Like seriously, it's an incredible playground. Not only can you use the existing blocks to build your own like workflow, you can build your own blocks. You can build
Yeah.
whatever you want. It's insane. So yeah, I don't think of a repository either for all of the nodes, but each of these nodes is on GitHub. So like usually if you are curious, like, okay, what does this do? Just go read the GitHub page and you'll see, okay, this is how it works. This is what it does. Like everything
And
that.
also you can go through the to the manager. You just click it,
Hmm,
and you have you have a GitHub page for this node.
yeah.
All
Okay.
right. So first of all, we need checkpoints. Then we need positive and negative prompts, right? So we would load clip. No, hold up. Um,
Clip vision.
no, it's not. Oh my God. When you work
I would
so
search for
much
clip.
with clip, yeah.
There you go.
Clip text and code.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so you can of course just copy and paste it. So we need positive and negative prompt, right?
Hmm.
And you connect those with the color, right? So you connect both of them. And you can color it by right click, and you have a couple of options. And one of them is colors. And let's color it green for positive, and let's color negative with red. Okay. Next, what we need is, sorry guys, we need is an image size. So what is it called? Um,
Latent image.
Not image, but
Latent image. I don't think it is a lot. I don't think there is. It's just empty latent image.
empty
This
shape.
is the one.
Yeah, of course. This is how you tell it the dimensions. The next one is case
Yeah, that
sampler.
basically creates the empty canvas that,
Yeah,
the image will be generated on.
case sampler is the kind of a render engine. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nate.
I think that's how I would describe it. Yeah, this is the thing that needs to be in a workflow. So like
Yeah,
all the information that we have earlier from like the checkpoint, the prompt for the latent image, it comes in here, and then like that information will be interpreted into the output on the other side.
correct. And we put everything inside. As you can see, when we click the output, we get, we can only connect it to positive or negative. So it will know which node is going inside. So we can connect empty latent image to model or positive or negative prompt, right?
Mm,
So also as well with the model. So you can basically just, drag and drop it like this and, bam, and it connects it. Okay.
yeah.
All right. But
Also,
beware
this,
with clip
yeah.
vision, with clip text encode, you have to, you can, mix your inputs and outputs, and that can happen pretty fast. And you can disconnect just by, clicking and letting it go, or you can click on this little dot and just click delete. Or we can add nodes and we can add the node in between. Uh,
Nice.
so we are almost there. What we need is a VAE. VAE is, oh, it's already embedded in
In
here.
some of
What we need is VAE encoder and decoder.
I was gonna point this out that yeah, that some of the VAEs are already inside the checkpoints, but some checkpoints don't have them. So you need to load a custom VAE.
So we need VAE decode, we need VAE encode if we are working with image to image. We will not explain that today, maybe next time. But we just connect the latent into samples. And let's connect VAE to the matching input. And what we need right now is, I highly recommend to use preview image instead of save image. The thing is, if you connect the save image, you will get uh, all your outputs here in output folder. I mean, as you can see, we have a lot. I mean, if you don't have this fixed, you can have a lot of files, a lot.
Also, storage space is something to invest in with AI. GPUs and storage space, very
Yeah,
beneficial.
yeah, correct. But if you go to preview image, you can save it by hand.
Mm.
All right. So let's create an image. I'm not a cat person, I'm a dog person. But from the first moment I opened the automatic 1111, and I kept this tradition. I always put in a cat.
I'm
And
I'm not gonna lie, I always go for a cat. Was I have no idea why. Like whenever I explain things or like suggest things, I usually do okay, a cat. Like this is a cat.
yeah, and some of the classic negative prompts, we need to put in negative prompts for 1.5 models, for 1.5 checkpoints. And the usual suspects are blurry. Nate, go.
Low res NSFW, not safe for work. nude. I like to include those because I like to be on the safe side.
Yeah,
Pixelated. What
this
else?
form,
Disfigured, disformed, bad
disfigured.
art,
Yeah.
ugly art, all of the all of the things.
Bad art.
To be honest, at this point, I usually just use an embedding, um,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
makes life easier.
And embeddings is also something you can get on Civit AI.
Negative Excel, or I mean, if you're using Excel models,
So let's filter it and you can get those in embeddings. And
and
the
workflows as
best,
well. You can
yeah,
get ComfyUI workflows on Civit AI or on the OpenArt.ai as well.
exactly. And the best are best rated. Easy negative, bad hands, it fixes your hands, kinda.
Kind of, kind.
Yeah. And there are a lot of the really cool checkpoints. They have their own embeddings. So this is embedding for realistic model checkpoint. And if you use it one with another, then you can get some really, really cool results. But in this case, we're just going to put them down and press Q prompt. We don't need you, so we're going to delete you. And we
Bam!
get a
Look at
nice
that.
kitten. Here we go. Our first image with ComfyUI.
Wow, wonderful. A
Yeah,
special
and of
feature.
course you can change your dimensions. Let's make it white. Oh, it's nice to remember the dimensions for 1.5 and Excel. Those are different
Mm.
dimensions, and they work by what's the word for divider of 64? Not divider, but
Yes.
multiplier.
Multiplier would probably be the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it has to be divisible by 64. But
Just just in general, as aspect ratio goes, I think it's the
yeah,
same thought process.
yeah. And when you work a lot with stable diffusion dimensions, you just,
Mm.
just get the dimensions in your brain engraved. So let's see. This is going to be widescreen. Here we go. A beautiful kitty. Yeah. There are some other things that are pretty important. Let's go to case sampler and just
Stefan,
quickly go through.
Stefan,
Are there any questions so far?
Stefan just asked the question: how do you change the checkpoint model?
Yeah, easy. You
First,
just
you need to
click it.
download it. First, you need to download it into your folder.
Yeah, and your folder is ComfyUI, models, checkpoints. And you have your checkpoints here. You can't see my checkpoints because I started with automatic 1111. I still have it installed. So I'm collecting my checkpoints here in Stable Diffusion.
Yeah,
I kind of rerouted it to
the path.
so
Yeah.
Conf can look at the folder in my Stable Diffusion structure. So I don't, I'm sorry, guys. My my voice is still not perfect.
All good, man.
Yeah,
You've been also talking a lot.
yeah, exactly. Can you just give me a second? I have to go to get some water. Sorry.
Yeah, I can answer the questions in the meantime. So yeah, so to change the checkpoint, you just need to have it downloaded in the folder, and then in the load checkpoint node, you just click on it and look through the list of checkpoints that you have. And Jordi, you're asking the case sampler steps. Yeah, so basically with the case sampler, it is very similar to like this is the engine that also like runs in automatic 1111 with the seed, the steps, the CFG scale, the sampler name, the scheduler. Um, so yeah, basically here you will adjust the basic parameters. So if you've used any of Stable Diffusion interfaces so far, of automatic 1111, invoke, whichever ones you use, focus. I don't know if they have this much control. I need to check actually. This is the same principle. Um, yeah.
So
So
as you can see on automatic 1111, you work your settings here in a
yeah,
radio environment. And with ComfyUI, you do this with notes. So for example, I will just, if you're more familiar with automatic, so sampling method is here, sampler name. And
yeah,
schedule type is scheduler. And the seed is seed, okay? And you
yeah.
can control your seed by pressing fix, increment, decrement, or randomize. I usually have it on randomize when I'm creating art, but if I'm testing workflows, I always have it on fixed. So I have more control on what I change in my settings.
And how the parameters affect the image.
Yeah. So steps are how many steps do you want to work with? The the normal is about 20 or 30 for 1.5 models. If you're working with LCM models, you usually work with 10 steps. And sometimes there are models that require more steps, 40, 50, even 60. So CFG scale is, you can put it here.
Which is basically the prompt adherence, like how well will the AI stick to the text
Yeah.
prompt put in.
So the lower number, the more it will
Straight.
obey the prompt, and the higher number, more it will had it input the artistic value.
I think it's the opposite. I think we've had this exact example previously as well. I think it's the opposite. Of like higher number will stick more to the prompt words, and lower number will be more varied.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but avoid very high numbers.
Mm.
You can get burnt images, burnt colors,
Yeah.
like
Quite
so.
quickly. Yeah.
So I would suggest leaving CFG, putting between 5 and 8.
I would s- I would go further. I usually go between 4 and 12,
Yeah,
depending on, yeah. I like to leave it on the lower side most of the time,
yeah.
but
I
sometimes,
like to work. I like to work with 6.
yeah. Laurenus, in the meantime, asked that automatic 1111 records settings as metadata into the generated pictures. Does ComfyUI nodes also record settings into metadata of the generated pictures?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir, it does. And let's
And
go
an
to my
amazing thing.
output, and let's just check one random image. Let's
Yeah.
see what this does. Probably it's a video. So you just drag and drop it. Oh, and you
Magic.
get the whole workflow.
Magic. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, this is what I've been testing.
Very cool, man. Very good. I love it.
But let's go back with the standard classic.
Yeah. But also, like, we should wrap up like soonish, I think. We've been almost at an hour. So I
Yeah,
think we will start wrapping. It's amazing, Lorna. So I agree. It is indeed amazing.
yeah, my throat agrees.
Yeah. Um, I think just like for today, the goal was to familiarize you with the environment, with the interface. And I think it comes down to like understanding like the individual building blocks. So like today we looked at a very simple example, which is you have a checkpoint, you have the aspect ratio, you have the prompt, and you have the case sampler, which is basically the engine of everything. So this is where you start building. Basically, this is where you start having fun. Like, if you understand control nets, IP adapters, make a workflow with that, for example. For me, the way I usually do it, I download the workflow that I find interesting with video, images, whichever. I load it in, and then I'm just like, okay, let's play around, and I start moving things around in the way that I would like. Yeah. So I think that would be my recommendation for today. That, like, now understanding, like, okay, how nodes work, how you move them around, try loading in a workflow. Like, try something that you're excited about, and just see how much of it you understand, and then you can start modifying it and adjusting everything. Mm.
I agree. And next time, I think we should do a couple of more of those, because we only scratched the surface. There is so much more going on in Comfy. So
Yeah.
maybe next time we will, just an idea, control nets, because it's one of the most important things in stable diffusion. This is why we love stable diffusion, because we have control over it with control nets. So maybe next time we will take a look at the control nets.
Yeah. Love the Office theme song, man.
Yeah, that was my phone.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love The Office. But yeah, I think, like, for the next time, it would be nice to just look at another workflow. Like, previously, we looked at Maggott's workflow, which I also recommend you check out. Like, now that you understand the nodes, maybe check that out and how he explains his thought process. And really, like, it's a bit of a deep dive regarding these things. Like, there's a lot to go in and a lot to cover. And I think, like, it's nice to use, like, specific use cases. Stefan also asks, can you give us a short list of useful checkpoints to start with? Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. You will get all the links by tomorrow. Yeah,
we will paste things in the chat. I usually, like, go through the
yeah,
comments and reply to people. But, like, I think what like Luca shared, that, like, on Civit AI, just filtering by most rated, like top rated, that is just a good way to start. You go there and you choose checkpoints, SD 1.5 or SDXL, whichever one you prefer, and then just, like, pick through these, because, like, people have, like, tried these out, and they are, like, they are rated highly because of that. So usually I just click on a model and then go through the comments and see the example images, and just, yeah.
by
um,
the way, I highly recommend going to your account settings and put the filter on SFW, because Civit AI has become a nest for NSFW content. And
mm,
really, you get showered with NSFW content. So just unclick the show mature content if
yeah, I think,
it's just too much. I usually don't have those filters, but for Civit AI, I do have, because it's just too much.
yeah, I agree. There were a few more questions. Stefan also asked, is it possible to create a 360 UI rectangular image? So a 360 image for, like, an immersive environment? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. You
yes.
can do anything you want. Literally, you can do anything you want.
The thing is, you just go to. I think there is 360 LoRa's. A couple of those. There are a couple of 360 LoRa's. Yeah, as you can see.
Mm,
So the thing
nice.
is, yes, if you're asking for this, right? If you're
Yeah.
asking for 3D, there's also 3D workflow.
Hmm.
And when you start collecting workflows, um, you can get very into it, and you have to start organizing.
Yes, I was just gonna say this, that do start organizing things very early on. Like, if you
Yeah,
just save all the checkpoints, the LoRa's, the workflows into one folder, oh my god, man!
it just yeah, it's too much.
Yeah,
So
just try
keep
to
it
be
keep it
organized.
organized. Yeah.
Another person asked, where can we check the previous thing that you just spoke about? Can you be a bit more specific? Which thing you're curious about? And Sandu also said that there are a few practical examples like coloring ink lines and converting 2D to 3D. Yeah, like there are so many workflows, seriously. And
Yeah.
everything is based on this, like the basic understanding of you have the nodes, each node does something, and if you understand what each node is capable of doing, you can build your own. But also, like a lot of people have built a lot of amazing workflows. For example, oh, this is style transfer. Mm. But I think there's also like for like a 3D model as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm. Easy 3D model.
Other project. I mean, there are so many workflows. It's just,
Start exploring.
oh, here
That's
we
what
go.
I
I
think.
think this is it, right? Not sure. But yeah, I mean,
Too
it's
much.
it's very easy to find those workflows.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here it is. Triple API. I mean, I know that triple.
Mm.
Oh, this is triple 3D, but triple SR, right? Yeah, from stability, it creates the 3D versions, outputs.
Nice.
I don't think you get the OBJs, and you just get the sequence of images. And there is also the nodes or workflow for 3D.
Okay,
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
mean,
questions coming in. I think earlier Jordi already said that's too much. Thanks a
yeah,
lot. So absolutely, I think like let's like leave the information here for today and just like
all
answer
right.
the more questions. But absolutely, I'm very glad to see like so many people enjoyed it, and that you got into this. But definitely, it is a lot, and just like take it step by step. Like you don't have to
No,
do everything at the same time. Start with a simple like image workflow, and then download the different workflow and build from that. Just take it easy. Like it becomes very very fun.
and
Um,
yeah, just something to wrap this up. I mean,
mm,
um, just download workflows and observe and learn from them,
yeah,
and slowly you will get there, and you will start to build your own workflows from scratch.
yeah.
But you learn the most from other workflows. So just download workflows, import them in your Comfy, and try to understand them.
And just
And this is,
doing, like, the
yeah,
best way to learn is to do things. So like make images,
yeah,
make videos, what is wrong, what can you change, like, experiment, just have fun with it.
just mess with settings, just explore. And this
Yeah,
is how you learn the quickest. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so a few more questions. The previous video where we said we can check the notes, now that you have the understanding, I will leave the links. So like all of like what we talked about, I will leave links for you. Thanks for the information. Thank you, Anna, for joining us. Looking forward to the next one. Yeah, like we will do another of these like in 14 days, I think. I think we will look probably at a specific workflow and kind of break that down of like some of the creators. And then maybe another session will be, as you said, on control nets again to the basics. So I think a combination of both is nice. So like having some basics and then going into a more specific workflow and just analyzing that. Where do we put those Lauras?
Oh yeah, the Laura's
Sophisticated
growth.
workflows, life portrait. Very nice. Good session. I'm very happy with today's session as well. It's been a while since I've gone over like the basics. I usually just jump in and I do things. So this has also been nice for me, just like a refresher of how things work.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All
Anything
right.
else, Luca?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you again, guys, for joining us. Hope you learned something, and we'll see you next week on AI Artists React.
Yeah.
And if you want more Comfy informations, check us out in 14 days.
Yeah. Or just send us a message. We're always very happy to communicate and
Yeah,
chat.
yeah,
We're here to
definitely,
learn together, basically.
definitely.